get the real deal now. Gonna kick your sorry ass out on the street. Yeah, what you got? You used to think you owned the street. Well, pack your bags and your ass is dead meat.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Lowdown Show, episode 102, right here on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. Your Canadian wrestling podcast that talks about NXT and the WWE and No Holds Barred on anything we say. Pun intended. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at No Holds Barred WP. You can follow myself at Real Kyle Masters. You can follow one of my co-hosts, Michael Chow, at Michael Chow TV, and you can follow also Brian on Twitter as well, at HeelTurn21 on Twitter. You can also follow the podcast on Instagram, No Holds Barred WP. You can also listen to us on the go on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Spreaker. Spreaker is a glorious podcast app. Available for all Android and Apple devices, lets you chat with us live on the air, and allows you to all listen to all previous episodes of the podcast as well. You can watch any video versions of the YouTube. I know I've been slacking lately. I got to post a bunch. I'm going to be posting like 3 episodes soon from the last 3 weeks, but they'll be all in there, youtube.com/NHBWR, so you can find that. I am your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host as always, Kyle Masters. And every week right here on the Lowdown Show, I am joined by my 2 co-hosts. Number 1, he is the host that runs the West Coast. He is Hollywood Michael Chow.
Chow's here. Roman Reigns didn't show up and no one can give a fuck.
Okay. All right, thank you, Michael Chow, for that intro. We also got the other host who covers the main roster part of the show, and that is, what do we call him? The modern-day main event Raja. Heel Turn 21 on Twitter, and that is Brian. What's going on, my friend? Reporting live from Camp WWE, it sounds like.
No, live from No Holds Barred headquarters here in beautiful Westfield Mall in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. We have our one headquarters down there. I thought for a second you might have been at Stamford, Connecticut, trying to get a word with Vince McMahon as to how bad the booking for the main roster has been lately. But I was wrong.
No, I don't have $3 billion to talk to that guy, so I'm kind of screwed.
Oh, you don't need that much money. Come on. You gotta get Ted DiBiase on your side.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
I'm probably get as close to him as his son did. Close to Vince.
Okay, but you're reporting from the headquarters down in Los Angeles, I guess, / Camp WWE, kind of sounds like in the background a little bit.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
That's all right. I told you I rip on you on the show for it. But what's going on to my 2 co-hosts? Guys, welcome to the Lowdown Show. If you don't know what this is all about, it is where we review NXT and WWE every single week. Obviously, the main focus of the podcast is NXT, but we cover a little bit of main roster for you. And that's where Brian from Los Angeles comes in play. He'll highlight the main roster before we get into the A show of the WWE. Even, I guess, almost, I was going to say as of late, but it's been for a long time now. Like I don't remember the last time the main roster ever outbeat an episode of NXT. Like, I can't.
NXT did like 800,000 people on the USA Network, so let's not go there.
Hey, wait till they get their Fox deal, which we'll talk about, and
NXT does TNA numbers on cable television.
Yeah. Well. It's because the main roster, they don't know about it. They got to start opening their eyes, man. They have the network. They just choose not to watch NXT for whatever reason. But if they did, their life would get changed. But I guess, NXT is not for everybody. I'd say it's less for the casuals. I'm sure the casuals would not like NXT. It's more for that hardcore fan base, the people that are more like towards the indies, the indie darlings they like to call us. Like, that's what NXT is more driven towards, and I appreciate that WWE does something like that for us, and I like the atmosphere of it. It's in a little compact, like, indie type setting. They don't go to big arenas and do big arenas every single week. They only do it for the pay-per-views, which is awesome. So, I love the way that they do NXT every single week. That's one of the reasons why we love it so much and how it's so good. And it caters to the type of fans that we are. It's not going to cater to a 10-year-old who's a big John Cena and Roman Reigns fan. He's not going to give a fuck about the NXT. He's not going to give a shit. If John Cena and Roman Reigns don't appear in NXT, he won't care. But it is what it is, and people have their opinions of it, and people have their opinions about the main roster. And in our opinions that it sucks, and we love NXT more. Other people don't seem to mind the main roster for whatever reason, but hey, that's them. That's their opinion. You know, everyone's entitled to their own opinions. Not judging.
Yeah.
But
they're two completely different shows as well. NXT is more of the wrestling show, and the main roster is more of the entertainment show.
The non-entertaining show.
Which is sad because
nailed it.
And it sucks because NXT grooms these guys to the top of their level, and then when they get to the main roster, it's either they get shoved to the side, not pushed, or just pushed in a different way that's completely different from NXT, aka Bobby Roode. Look what Bobby Roode, the big difference from when he was in NXT and the big difference to what he's on the main roster. He went completely downhill from being called up. Same with guys like Ty Dillinger, the Revival, Bailey, just to name a few. It sucks what WWE doesn't know how to push the guys the same way how they are pushing NXT. I hate how they change the mold of these guys as soon as they get called up. And they wonder why they don't get the reaction they're getting or the sales that they're getting with these guys. It's pretty simple to see. You just push the same way you did in NXT, and then you have money right there. Ty Dillinger could have been money. The crowd, they could have been massive 10 chance every goddamn. He could have gotten the almost Daniel Bryan level if they had to push Ty Dillinger a certain way. Because they didn't. I'm not just saying it because he's biased. He's my hometown boy. I'm just saying if they had to push him a certain way, then Ty Dillinger would be huge right now. But the fact that they didn't, they treated him like a jobber and kept him in pre-shows, he's not going to get that reaction. They're like, oh, well, this is a failed experiment, obviously. No, it's not it's a failed experiment because all you focus on in the main roster is one goddamn guy, and you push everyone else to the side. So...
Yeah, we can talk about this, since there's not much to talk about in the main roster.
Right.
Everyone likes to Vince likes to do the whole, I didn't build him type of deal, so he changes in once he gets to the main roster. It's NXT is still yours. It's still a WWE, a branch of WWE. Why does he always feel like he has to go and just do a complete 180 with these guys? Why? He feels like he has to fix something that's not broken. I don't get it.
I know. It sucks. So
the one guy that did get it right though, so we can transition into the main roster. Former WWE champion Jinder Mahal. Thank you very much.
Oh my God.
That's the best thing to come out of NXT.
I'm gonna cut it right there, and we'll get into that first that part of the show, guys, and that is the WWE main roster part of the show, led by our very own Brian. What's going on the main roster this week, Brian? Let us know. What's the happening down there?
All right, so we got Braun Strowman.
Up there.
Yes, it's up there still. Don't forget the A show. Braun Strowman kicks off Raw, gets into a little argument with Finn Balor. I think it's big slapped by Finn Balor, which is kind of funny.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you see any of this? It's pretty good.
I saw
good
pictures.
Okay. Which led to Finn Balor versus Braun Strowman, which
again,
part two. Which KO is on commentary, so of course he ends up interfering. He knocks Balor off of the rope when he's trying to do the coup de grace for the second time, just to make sure Strowman's out. Gets beat up outside by KO. KO grabs a ladder. Hits Balor. Tries to get inside the ring with a ladder. Strowman actually takes the ladder from KO. KO runs outside, and Strowman literally chucks the ladder halfway up the entrance ramp. And lands a foot from KO, which is pretty cool.
Jesus.
So that ends in no contest. Great.
We can't have Finn Balor beating Braun Strowman, right?
No.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Nah, you can't do.
No.
After that, we have KO backstage and a hair segment. The only cool part about that is he's yelling at LA for his keys. Other than that, we had, let's see, Rollins versus Mahal, which was actually pretty good.
Rollins faced Jinder Mahal?
Yeah, and it was really good. I don't know, Michael, did you check any of it? I know.
I don't think he did.
As much as I love Jinder Mahal, sadly, no, I'm afraid I
Jinder Mahal, that one guy everyone loves to watch in the main roster.
If it's not Jinder versus Roman Reigns, I'm sorry, not interested.
Well, you got Jinder doing Doglet with the Shield, so maybe Dean Ambrose is next, right? But no, I mean, a lot of people like the Jinder, of course. But I thought it was a really good match. Obviously, Rollins is on fire right now. Everything he's doing is just great. And he's going to carry Jinder to a really good match. Of course, we have Samir, with the interruption. The really
What
cool
else
spot
is new?
this is
When was
Rollins.
the last time Jinder Mahal won something clean?
Rollins actually pull bombs Samir into Jinder in the corner, which is pretty cool. Then we got a Q finish because Rollins actually kind of gets frustrated and hits Jinder with the chair. So he gets the no DQ finish. The DQ finish still champ, which was kind of weird. I mean, why would they have Rollins win with the chair or get DQ with the chair when he's been,
Yeah.
I think this is his first loss since I believe right before Mania. So kind of weird.
That was one thing about the title I always thought was kind of weird. If the title doesn't switch hands by DQ, then why doesn't the champ just always get himself disqualified,
Exactly.
Keep the belt. He's like this.
Any heel should have never lost the title in that case. I would have just gotten counted out
Right.
every match. But anyway, then we head to the next great part, which is Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey again.
God.
Oh, God.
Boo! Yeah, I'm playing the boo sound. Boo. Who cares?
So,
Who earns?
Boo earns.
It gets better. So we've had Alexa Bliss tell us Nia Jax is a bully for the last 2-3 months. We've had Nia Jax defend herself on social media, cry, I'm not a bully, blah, 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 blah. She has a match with Jobber. Ronda Rousey's at ringside, or at the announce table, I'm sorry. She has a match with a Jobber that doesn't even start. She tells
An
the Jobber
enhancement
to put her-
talent.
Yeah. She has the Jobber, hey, put me in an armbar just like Ronda Rousey would, which I'm sure the Jobber is just as good as Ronda Rousey at the armbar. Obviously, she can't put it on her. Nia picks up the Jobber. I don't know her name. I'm sorry. Slams her into the mat, and just kind of keeps going back and forth with beating up the Jobber and trash talking Ronda on the stage, and just goes like full blown heel, like just beating up this poor 115-pound girl. Actually, does a leg draw and a Samoan drop. Ronda eventually gets into the ring. And Nia does the whole, that's the evil face. That's the evil face everyone talks about. That's cute, and walks away.
Oh.
And it's like, oh.
Wow, I care so much
okay.
about this. Oh my God, I can't wait. Oops, sorry.
Two issues here. Like, so Alexa Bliss is right. Nia Jax is a bully. And number two is, what are they doing with Ronda? Like, Ronda should be in there kicking ass, like why in real life would Ronda let someone go up and be like, oh, your evil face is cute, and just smile and walk away? Like, I don't.
Are we still thinking that
get what they're doing with
Natty's
her.
are we still are they keeping Natty in the shadows because they're gonna have her interfere in this match? Like, is Natty going to be the one to cost Ronda the title? They started a little mini feud in the summer. And I don't know if it leads to Natty versus Ronda at SummerSlam. That really doesn't sound like a SummerSlam type match, but I wouldn't put it past WWE's main roster to do something like that because whatever makes sense to them obviously won't make sense to us. So
yeah, like I said, I think it's more for the mainstream media attention of a Hart versus a Rousey.
yeah,
WWF versus UFC,
probably.
kind of that deal. I mean, nobody really cares. I still say Natty wins Money in the Bank and cashes in right after Ronda wins the title.
Okay,
I'm still calling it. Anyway,
it's a good call.
After that we have Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt versus the Ascension. I'm sure you guys all know where that goes. Exactly.
The Ascension winning, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. New
Yes!
champions, the Ascension.
Yes, they're back.
Who cares?
Fucking man.
I literally was like cooking or pouring myself cereal during that match. I didn't really care. Then we have Bobby Roode versus KO.
Oh yeah.
Who cares? The only thing I thought about after was on Raw. This is a who cares match. But if we would have had this match in NXT, this would have been like a takeover.
Because they would have done something way better in the main roster. Because we get Cringe Rude over there, who I hate his cringe smiling, or he's dancing another week with No Way Jose trying to do his booty shake with New Day. Like, it's just like, How can I get back? Oh no, that was Backlash. Yeah, that's not the Bobby Roode from NXT. It's not that. This is not. I mean, Kevin Owens hasn't really changed. I think he's a little bit more fierce in NXT. He was more title driven. Now it's just like he's playing mid level, and he's like okay with that. Like he's coasting mid level.
Yeah, KO is kind of the half tough guy, half chicken shit going on. It's kind of weird.
KO should be pushing the main title picture. I don't care what anyone says. I know that's another biased saying right there because KO is my boy, but that guy's main title picture all over him. And they have him coasting. They keep doing the Sami Zayn crap. I thought that Sami Zayn friendship thing was going to end at WrestleMania, and it didn't after that. So I don't know. It is what it is. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, they had KO lose to Goldberg, so there's that.
Yeah.
So KO wins. Who really cares? Then we have the Sami Zayn apology, which was pretty much WWE saying, you know what, we screwed up, guys.
Wow.
But the way they went about it was Sami went out and apologized because those were not Bobby Lashley's sisters. Those were guys.
Oh my God.
No.
No way. Stop
What?
it.
Yeah,
You telling me they weren't actual women? Those weren't actually Bobby Lashley's sisters? You're lying.
They got me.
Don't lie to
They
me.
fooled me.
I got one of their autographs. It clearly says Lashley on the picture.
Yeah. What did they lie? I don't think they'd lie on the picture. There's no way. I call shenanigans here. Those are actually his sisters. Let's stop now.
Now you're gonna wait. Hold up. Now you're gonna tell me that Kane and the Undertaker are not real brothers. Are you gonna tell me Edge and Christian are not real brothers?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Are you
right?
telling me that was not Shelton Benjamin's mama?
Yeah. Let's be real here. Those are all
I don't know
true.
what to believe right now.
Yeah.
I think
If those aren't
Shelton
true, I
Benjamin
quit.
Shelton Benjamin needs his mom right now on the main roster because
I need my mom right now hearing about this shit. How about we move the SmackDown? I'm already sick and tired of Raw. What happened on the Blue brand this week? Probably nothing.
you don't want to hear about the BT's Memorial Barbecue on Raw.
No, we're done with Raw. We're already shoving that over the side. What's going on with the Blue brand? What happened to Blue brand?
I'm offended. I am offended.
You
But
should be
anyway-
offended. Cupid Girl 125. I gotta show some love to the chat though, guys. I'm sorry. We got Cupid Girl 125 joining in late. She had to watch Deadpool 2. Hopefully it was really good tonight when you went to see that. What's going on, Cupid Girl? We also got Datila. What's going on, Datila? And any silent listeners in the chat, what is going on? I know you don't like the chat. You're listening in. What is going on to all the silent listeners out there? Thank you for tuning into the Lowdown Show right here where we review NXT and the WWE every single week. And now we're on to the Blue brand part of the main roster coverage by our very own heel turn 21, Brian, the modern day main event Raja. What's going on with the Blue brand this week, Brian?
Before we start SmackDown, again, I'm going to say, as an American, I am extremely offended you don't want to talk about the Memorial Day Battle Royal. I see where this is going.
No, I'm not prejudiced. Let's just hold it. Let's hold it up there. There's no. I'm not prejudiced. That's not it. Let's not paint the picture here.
All hate tweets, please send them to Kyle.
The main roster always has to do that. If it's a freaking holiday, they have to find some type of stupid themed match for
Any
the
holiday
show.
show was terrible.
Whatever.
It was a food fight. That.
Of course, it was.
Of course, it was a food fight. But anyway, on SmackDown, we have Joe coming to the ring and doing something pretty cool. He starts off by just walking to the ring, grabbing a ladder, and grabbing the briefcase, which is something I don't think I've ever seen anyone do in a promo for Money in the Bank.
There you go. Joe has the briefcase. No one come and watch on Sunday. Joe's
Confirmed.
Money in the
Samoa
Bank.
Joe wins.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe wins.
it.
We confirmed.
Oh man, that would be so funny. He takes the briefcase, takes out the contracts. Like, well, I got the contract, so.
Yeah,
Who's gonna take it from me? That'd be smart. Can you imagine that? That would be strictly badass. He just takes the contract out and goes, "Hey, you want it? Come get it from me." Like, who's gonna do it? Who's honestly gonna come out and take that from Samoa Joe?
That would be
Nobody.
pretty cool. Or they can also even do a whole two contract thing where it'd be like, okay, well, you have the SmackDown one, and we're gonna have a Money in the Bank for the Raw one now. You know, too easy,
Sure.
too easy.
Yeah, it's too easy. This Money in the Bank match is huge. You look at the poster for it; they had to make the poster extra big this year. Like, I feel like there's way too many goddamn people in this match now, especially because did I see this right? Because I hadn't watched the main roster in obvious reasons. Are all three members of the New Day in this match?
No, it's only one person representing the team.
Okay, from
So-
what I
so
saw,
they-
I thought it was all three of them. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Really?
Yeah, so they had a tag team match, and whichever tag team won, it was New Day against Cesaro and Sheamus. And then whichever team won, they got to choose one person to represent the team, I guess.
Oh, is that what
Yeah,
happened on this week's SmackDown? I'll let Brian talk about that.
No, Kyle, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, Kyle. How dare you
Oh.
not pay attention to the main roster?
Exactly.
Second of the show.
So was it these guys? If you guys are watching the video version of the podcast, was it these guys? The New Day. I got the 7-Eleven Collector's Cup here in the camera. Was it these guys? Was it them? Did they win? Is that why I'm seeing them in the poster?
No, I still think it's going to be Xavier Woods. They want to. I don't even remember. It was a tag team match with the Bar, I believe. And whoever won the tag match gets to choose one of their guys to go to the Money in the Bank. So they still haven't told who is going to be from the day, which I kind of think they're going to hold off until the actual show itself. Which would be kind of cool. But anyway, we have Joe opening the show. Like I said, grabs a briefcase, comes out, trash talks Daniel Bryan, talks about, what he's going to do to him. And D-Bry comes out because Joe's talking about his wife and his kids. And just supposed to have a match later on in the night. But Cass comes out, limping with his crutches, and says, you know what, I talked to management, and I'm now going to be part of the Money in the Bank qualifying match tonight, and attacks them with one of his crutches. So we get Cass versus Bryan versus Samoa Joe in the main event.
I'm not really a fan of Big Cass, man. He's kind of getting on my cringe level, to be honest. Like, I'm just not digging anything for him. Like, I feel like he might be all right on the mic, and he's maybe half decent in the ring. To me, he does nothing for me.
He seems like he's one of those guys where you just gotta let him go.
Mm-hmm.
When he's delivering his promos, he's talking like he's reading off a teleprompter. It just seems like one of those guys where it's got to be like, I'm just going to talk and say what I want to say, but we know that's not going to happen.
Right.
Kind of like the whole early run did.
Yeah.
Then we have Shinsuke in the back. He's going to be fighting your boy, Ty Dillinger, later on in the night for a who knows why.
I'm going to have to go back and watch that. My boy's on TV? No way.
I don't think you want to see what happens to your boy.
He probably got kicked in the nuts, didn't he? Am I right? Did he get kicked in the nuts?
No, he got Kinshasa in the back of the head, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we can just get to the match. Pretty good match. He gets a little bit of offense in. He's obviously not going to beat Nakamura. But Nakamura, pins him and then hits him with Kinshasa to do the whole 10 count, last man standing type of deal. With Nakamura's amazing 10 count. It's like, dude, you can barely talk English. Why haven't counted 10 every week on TV? I don't get it.
Because it's funny because Dillinger does 10, right? And then it counts to 10.
Yeah,
right?
that was a whole.
Is that what the writers were going for?
I guess so. I'm more concerned with the dance off.
Get out of here.
So did either one of you check it out? The dance off?
I to be honest, I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry.
How dare you, sir.
First
Memorial Day now there.
I gotta be completely honest because here's the thing. Because last year at this very pay-per-view, it was Naomi defending the SmackDown Live Women's Championship against Lana, and now this year, 1 year later, we're still getting Naomi and Lana for some reason. The build is bad. And now they're throwing the Usos in there because the Usos were also in the dance-off. And I'm like, what are they doing with this roster? I don't understand. Why are the Usos out here? I'm not getting it.
Well, you're wrong. First of all, it's not Lana versus Naomi anymore. It's Naomi versus Lana Day. Thank you very much.
Lana Day. Oh, yeah. I think I saw a picture of him holding a sign, against a giant sign that said Lana Day on it. I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah, they have this chant, Lana is the best, Lana's number one. It's like,
Lana is best, Lana number one. Lana is best, Lana number one.
I think the number one for how many matches she's won in her career.
Wow. Cuban girl, you love to dance off. Oh, come on. Oh, no.
It wasn't.
Oh, no.
It was better than the Sami Zayn sister.
Oh, they're both terrible.
I mean,
By the way,
I want
to throw it out here, okay? They're both good dancers. The thing I like about this is building toward the Money in the Bank. What is this? You know, it's like if you guys want to do this at the beginning of the month, that's fine.
Yeah.
But when you have to build toward Money in the Bank with several other women, and you could have been like, dude, several women in the Money Bank could have been involved. They could have gotten the segment up, but they're like, nope. Here's just Naomi and Lana in a dance segment, and I don't know. I'm clueless. I don't know what to say.
Well, I have a little news on that. I mean, like you said, they're building Money in the Bank, but apparently what this is building to is a Total Divas episode. And
Oh, of course it is.
It kind of makes sense because if you follow any of the girls on social media, Paige was posting a video of her, Lana, and I believe Nia Jax having a dance competition against, I think it was Naomi, Natty, and
Oh my
damn,
god.
I don't remember. I have no idea. But it looks like they're trying to build into this dance off for Total Divas, which is going to be great.
Horrible.
Yeah, so the more they just got $3 billion for SmackDown, but we're going to.
Anything good happen on SmackDowns besides all that? Did anything else happen on SmackDown?
So you're saying the dance off wasn't good?
No.
I don't know what's wrong with you, Kyle. I really don't.
I will gladly take any gripe you have to me about this dance-off being anywhere good. This dance-off was just... I kind of agree with Michael. Like, if it was earlier in the month, maybe. But if it was now, no. Nope.
All right, so next we have The Bar and The Miz versus The New Day, which everyone's saying that New Day is getting stale and it's gotta, they gotta break out, blah, 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 which I get it. But if I think every time someone says that, The New Day comes out and puts on a great match. Like, they don't have bad matches, and this was another really good match. Biggie got the win for New Day on this one, so I think last week Dave got the win, this week Biggie, so next week obviously we're gonna have Kofi get a win until they try to figure out who's going to Money in the Bank.
See, what they should have done is hashtag Montreal Creative. Sorry for the plugging myself, but they could have had a beat the clock challenge. Say for the next couple of weeks, we're gonna have a beat the clock challenge. Whoever gets the fastest time, then that person in New Day gets to go to the Money in the Bank. Because it's fair, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Put in matches, a beat the clock challenge, and there you go.
Okay, I like that.
Why not just have a triple threat between all of them and make it like a friendly competition type deal, which would then lead to them breaking up. That's another. It's too easy.
But you know what? This is how they can decide it. Next week, New Day and a dance-off. There you go. Best dancer.
Oh.
Go with the Money in the Bank. Here we go, baby. We're doing it. Bucking it in.
And when they cook the barbecue for next week.
Anyways.
Then we have Mandy Rose versus Asuka. So, Asuka doing big things on the main roster. Your NXT baby there. Then we have, we have a Sin Cara appearance.
Oh, okay. It's a credible episode then, at least.
Yeah, he's it looks like it's gonna be Sin Cara versus Cien Almas moving forward. So that's gonna be great.
Oh,
Just
wow. A Mexican versus a Mexican. They're really pushing that, eh? What
Creative.
Road Dogg, man, you're so creative.
There you go. Hey, don't tweet Road Dogg. You see some people tweet Road Dogg. I can't believe I defend this product every week.
I don't understand.
It's horrible. Then we have the main event: Big Cass, Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan. Samoa Joe with the win. So we moved on to Money in the Bank. Yeah, so of course after the match, Joe, heads up the ramp, and Cass attacks Bryan. So it looks like we're gonna get Bryan and Cass at Money in the Bank.
Part two, baby.
Part 2, great. Yeah, another part 2. It's like we're gonna have part 18 of AJ Styles and Nakamura coming up. So.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Main roster madness.
Oh, so good. We're gonna call it that, main roster madness. That's what your segment's called every single week.
That's the segment right there.
Yeah. Main roster madness. Yeah.
Who wouldn't spend $3 billion?
I'm gonna have to make your own theme song.
just have it. Lana is the best Law number 1 on repeat.
No, I'll make this one good. That's pretty good though.
Me and Michael Chow will have a dance off to the music, and
oh
it'll be
god.
great.
Anyways, thank you for that main roster segment of the show. I guess we're going to the main roster madness with none other than the modern day main event Raja. Brian at Heel Turn 21 on Twitter. Thank you for that, as always. And now, the moment of truth. It's time where we talk about the A show of the week, and that is NXT. That's right. You hear it, ladies and gentlemen. The NXT chants are loud. We are going to be talking about the A show this weekend. It was another great episode of NXT. A lot of forward progression for NXT TakeOver Chicago. A lot of stuff is coming into shape. We also had a really cool highlight video of Bianca Belair. It really looks like there's a lot of hype behind her, and they're going to be pushing forward as her being one of the top girls in the division. I'm glad, because they need more than just Nikki Cross and Shayna Baszler to carry the torch here while this division does get better. We have some news about a Mae Young Classic 2 coming, so we maybe have potentially more women on the way over to NXT, and maybe we get some NXT what's it called? Some people from the Mae Young Classic 1 coming to NXT, basically what I'm trying to say. Hopefully that happens, and we see them coming back into the tournament. Let's get into the A show, and Michael Chow. I thought this episode was actually pretty decent this week. Would you say it was better than last week? 'Cause I know you had your concerns about last week. Was it at least better than last week?
It was better than last week.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So we were highlighted by Shayna Baszler defending her title against Dakota Kai. We had EC3 in action, and we also had some Aleister Black progression in his feud, and we also had Ricochet and Velveteen Dream, some progression there, and then some stuff with Johnny Gargano. It was a really jam-packed episode of NXT this week, which was really, really well done. So we had all those features. We had to look at Bianca Belair, which is really cool, and the latest on Gargano and Ciampa. So we opened up this week though with like a video recap of Johnny Gargano returning to NXT alongside Candice LeRae. He teased potentially walking away from wrestling, but felt it was worth it to stay and face Tommaso Ciampa one more time. They showed Gargano rushed Ciampa in the ring, got bumped off the apron, which leading him crashing that big elbow into Candice LeRae's chest area. NXT GM William Regal said the situation is too dangerous and said neither superstar will be on tonight's show, and the two will meet at NXT TakeOver Chicago in a street fight. But that's not the case. We'll get into that later when it happens. Really cool promo video at the beginning, Michael, with highlighting what's going to go on with Gargano and Ciampa. I'm liking the direction they're going in with this. Again, I really wish they would have done Hell in a Cell. I don't know if maybe they're saving that for a future takeover later on this year when they're finally going to, because I know they're going to have to debut the Hell in a Cell NXT eventually. I know it's coming, because they haven't done it yet, and they want to always try these new things. We saw it with the War Games match last year, so I can smell the Hell in a Cell is around the corner somewhere. I actually thought it would be with these guys, but it turns out we didn't. So we're getting the Chicago street fight. It kind of makes sense because they're in Chicago. So how do you like this feud and how it's shaping up, Michael?
I like it. I totally agree with you. I would have liked it to have been Hell in a Cell or something bigger. Because I feel like, listen, they've both been great, but I got to tell you, I need this feud to end. As much as I love this feud, I feel like it's seriously run its course, and I really would have liked it to end in a big way like Hell in a Cell. But I'm pretty sure you guys will have a hell of a match, no pun intended, with this fight. They're going to go all out. There's going to be some crazy-ass spots. So with that being said, to see how crazy this Chicago street fight goes down, I really hope this is seriously the end.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What was that match WCW had with like the 3 cages on top of each other?
You talking about WCW?
Yeah, it was like
that was the
no.
That with the what was that called? Was that called a House of Horrors match or like Chamber of Horrors?
In the movie, right?
Yeah, it was in the movie Ready to Rumble.
Yeah, have that match. Why not?
Am I thinking of the same match here, the House of Horrors, where Abdullah the Butcher got like electrocuted in like the chair?
No. So if you can imagine, if you remember the movie Ready to Rumble, it's basically one cage. Then on top of that big cage is another cage, and then on top of that cage is another cage. It's basically 3 cages, and you had to climb to each level, and at the very top was the title.
I think that's the match I'm talking about, because in the first level, I think Abdullah the Butcher gets like electrocuted in like a freaking like an electric chair. Like it was so corny, but like I was like, what the hell am I watching here? What is this? I'm pretty sure that was the same match.
They had like different like the first level was like a regular type of cage, and the second one had like tables in it or something like that. I don't remember barbed wire and fireworks and electrocution going on. I'm
gonna have to go and see that. But anyways, I agree with you, Michael. This needed a better ending to this feud. If this is going to be the last one, and I'm hoping it's the last one, because all signs pointed at TakeOver New Orleans that this was going to be it. Like that was like non-sanctioned. After that, they would go their separate ways. Not the case. It continued after. Now we're getting a street fight. If this is the end, I feel like, again, like I agree with you, street fight is not the way to go to ending of a feud, which makes me think that, are they going to continue after this? Are they going to do a third rubber match? Is that what's going to go down? Because technically, wasn't the unsanctioned match the first match between these two, right?
Yeah.
So Johnny won that. I have a feeling that Tommaso might win this one, and these guys are going to have their rubber match at TakeOver Brooklyn, and that's going to be the final one, and that's going to be where they either get called up or something's going to happen with those two after that. But I think that we're going to get one more match out of this. I'm starting to see it now more. If not, then I don't know. Maybe they just... It's weird. Maybe they have something big planned for this street fight if this is the end. If not, I'm going to lean towards my decision of I think it's going to be continuing after this, and we're going to get the rubber match at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Something else is going to go down here. And you know what? I'm sticking with my prediction as I said last week. Candice LeRae is turning on Johnny Gargano here. They're pulling the whole Jericho and Christian thing. She's going to cost him the match at NXT TakeOver Chicago, and she's going to side with Tommaso Ciampa, and that's going to lead into their rubber match at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. You heard it here first from me. That shit is going down. It's going to happen. I'm telling you right now. Oh, it's going to be epic, man. I cannot wait for NXT TakeOver Chicago. I feel like I should be...
I'm telling you, something big is going to happen in this match. Something big. It might be it you're talking about, but it's something big is going to happen. They need it to be a street fight, so either a big spot or this is definitely going to go down. So.
I don't know what the big spot would be, though. I'm trying to think, and nothing's come to mind at first. But very excited for this feud. But we didn't open with that. We had the video, but we opened the actual NXT show with Aleister Black making his way to the ring, the champion of NXT. Really good reaction from the crowd. Big Aleister chants. Black says that there's some confusion on who his opponent is, but he only needs one shot to take down his opponent. And this leads to Lars Sullivan coming out to the ring and says the dispute is over, and per William Regal, it will be Lars Sullivan versus Aleister Black at TakeOver Chicago for his championship, which we could kind of see that they were heading in this direction from the last couple of weeks, with Sullivan interrupting Ricochet and Velveteen Dream 2 weeks ago, and then him basically dominating almost half the match last week, and then the whole feud between Ricochet and Aleister Black. They still got beef with each other, so we knew it wasn't going to be one of them. So it kind of pointed towards Lars Sullivan going to be the challenger, and we got it this week with the announcement, I guess, from Lars himself. Man, does this guy ever sound like Ruthless Aggression Kane? Every single week, every time this guy is on the mic, I'm thinking of Kane. I don't know if you guys think the same way, but when you hear this guy talk, he talks the same way. He's got the same demeanor. He's got the same anger. He's got the same vocabulary. Sullivan is like his mic skills is literally a mimic of Kane, and I'm fine with that. I mean, it suits him, and it suits his presence, and it suits his personality, and basically it suits his character. So I'm all for that.
He also wears all red. All he's missing out on mask.
Right.
I'm a mask, man.
You can put hair on it too. I know he's bald, but you can put hair on it. He's got that big pointy chin beard. Don't know how that's gonna work out.
That Kane always has attached to his mask.
Anyways, Sullivan says that he'll give Black credit for what he's done over the last 16 years, but Black has never faced anyone like Sullivan before. You can try to ignore, he says, you can try to ignore your emotions all you want, but you can't ignore the reality of what's going to happen to you at Chicago, Sullivan says. Sullivan tries to choke Aleister Black. He gets pushed back. Then Aleister Black tries for that black mask, but he gets caught Sullivan catches the black mass with his hands and is just staring at his foot going, oh, big mistake, buddy. And turns him around and flattens Aleister Black with the freak accident, and Sullivan picks up the title and holds it and drops it right on Aleister Black. So really, really cool opening segment here for NXT this week, Michael. And I don't know, Brian, did you catch NXT this week?
I absolutely did not.
Okay.
But
Anyway.
as you guys were hinting, I mean, why not just have at the end of this feud, Black ends up being his secret brother, and we have Undertaker and Kane.
Right, sure.
They already called Black.
I mean, you cover the main roster, and your creative ideas are just as good, man. Good job.
There you go.
Oh, God, man.
William Regal can be Paul Bearer, and we'll just...
Oh, man. Stop.
We'll have a dance off.
William Regal has to make the announcement that they're related, and then he has to blow everyone's mind by saying that they're both his illegitimate child. Yeah. Saying
Exactly.
that, Black, Lars, you're my child.
Why isn't Vince hire both of you guys, man? Jesus Christ. Michael Chow and Brian for creative for main roster, man. You guys would do a hell of a... You guys do fit in just right with those monkeys, man.
Exactly. Hear that, Vince? Me, Brian, we can get crazy. We can get crazy with creative.
Anyway, so really cool opening. I'm liking the direction that they're going here. It's different. Aleister Black versus Lars Sullivan. I think Lars Sullivan definitely...
Yeah. I really like it when he caught his foot. It just seemed like it was so easy for him. The only thing I like about this segment is I really, not just this segment, I really don't like when people go out here and say, hey, so they made me number one contender, so I'm number one contender.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I noticed that, but I mean, it was kind of obvious that it was going to be Lars Sullivan.
They might as well have made last week's match the triple threat number one contender.
That's what I mean. I thought this week they were going to do that. I thought they were going to go into a triple threat now and see who would be number one contender. Maybe they should have done that. I think we give NXT some gripe there. They couldn't have kind of pushed us a little farther because we're still a couple of weeks away from TakeOver Chicago. So unless they have big things planned for this feud, I think they could have pushed us another week, and we could have had a triple threat this week. But we got what we got, and Lars Sullivan is number one contender. We're going to get him versus Aleister Black. Definitely a different dynamic than what Black's done recently in NXT. Two undefeated guys going against each other, basically undefeated in one-on-one competition. So that's going to be interesting to see, too. Another big match for NXT TakeOver Chicago. See, NXT knows how to build matches towards pay-per-views, man. They get you, so invested in it. And you want to watch and see the outcomes, man. That's what I love about NXT. So we got that. So we moved on. We had War Raiders against some enhancement talents, and we got the names here, so we can add them to the. We're gonna have in the Slammies this year. We're gonna have the enhancement talent of the year. We're gonna have a fan vote who wins the enhancement talents of the year. And I'll put the So we got George Hickson and Cody Vincent this week. Great names.
Is someone just taking two first names and be like, oh, that'd be good?
Yeah.
Bob Jordan. Brian Kyle. Here comes Brian Kyle.
So big surprise. War Raiders win. I don't think the Jobbers are ever going to steal. I don't think the Jobbers will ever steal one on the main, unless the character that's debuting is meant to lose. We're never going to see Jobbers pull a fast one here. So they win 1-2-3. I don't know what's going on with War Raiders. Are they going to have a rematch against Heavy Machinery? Who knows? But we'll see what happens. I don't know if they're just kind of sticking around waiting for the tag team division to unfold. So we'll see what happens, Michael. I don't know what to do. I think I'd keep War Raiders off the card for Chicago unless they had something big planned. To be honest,
it's I think you said it a couple of weeks ago. They really had War Raiders versus Heavy Machinery way too quick. It honestly could have been a match at TakeOver Chicago. Mm-hmm. And they're just kind of confused on what to do with their tag team division. I mean, Tino Sabatelli and Riddick Moss, are they still splitting up? Or what's going on with them? And then, War Raiders, who... their entrance, by the way, totally reminds me of the Ascension, so we'll see where this goes.
I see that. I see that what you're talking about. I see what you mean. I get that vibe, too. I'm like, please don't be another Ascension 2.0. Please don't. I know they will if they get called to the main roster, but we'll see what happens with them.
A really quick run in here. Because we're talking NXT tag teams. Where the hell is Sanity?
You tell me. You're the main roster Maharaja.
Yeah, main roster Maharaja. Let us know what's going on.
By the way, they stopped playing vintages for Sandy. Like they just don't
I
refer
was
to
about
him.
to say, they don't even refer to them coming anymore. It's like just kidding. I don't know what's going on.
I like that. Just kidding. They're not coming anymore.
Yeah.
They're going back to NXT along with the Revival and Ty Dillinger. These are all the people who are going back to NXT.
Mm-hmm. So we got a recap of the history between Dakota Kai and Shayna Baszler leading up to their title match tonight, which is pretty cool. I was really kind of excited to see what was going to go down for this match because what we got in this match tonight is exactly what I thought was going to happen. Earlier today, we had EC3 heading into the building, which is another quick clip. We also had Kathy Kelly talks with Lacey Evans and talks about her rubber match against Kairi Sane on next week's show. So these two are going to go at it again. Lacey Evans says that the result will be the same, and she will do whatever it takes to win. She continues that it doesn't matter that Sane won the Mae Young Classic. She has the woman's right.
I gotta tell you, I was with her the entire way, and then when she put the stamp on this promo, I literally went, yikes.
I literally felt the same way. I'm like, oh, did they really need to end that with that?
By the way, I slowly saw her build toward that line. I was like, she's putting up her elbow. She's going to say it. She's going to say
but we get the rubber match next week with those two, so we'll see what happens with that. So we had EC...
With the Saudi Arabia for that.
Anyways, we had EC3 versus Fabian Eichner. Another good showing by... I love this dude, Fabian Eichner, man. And actually, his skill in the ring is literally amazing. I love what he's been doing at NXT. He's basically, though, he's what Cien Almas was in the beginning. He's the guy, the placement guy. He's the guy that they use to put people over, basically, or just for the new people to have and the big people to have their matches against. But this was actually a decent match for the most part, Eichner and EC3. But all of a sudden, EC3 heads to the floor, and Johnny Gargano suddenly is coming out of the crowd. I'm going, what the fuck? What does Johnny Gargano have to do with this match right now? What the hell is he doing here? So he's coming out. He's walking along before. He goes over to the commentary desk. He grabs a microphone and says he has a signed contract for his street fight against Tommaso Ciampa. And basically he's just saying that the match is going to go down. And he just walks back away and walks back through the crowd. I'm like, okay. It was really weirdly placed for whatever reason. But EC3 didn't seem thrilled about the interruption. I don't know if there's going to be a future thing with Gargano and EC3. I don't know what's going on with that. Eichner hits like a big flying crossbody like from the ring all the way out to the floor. EC3 gets back in the ring. He drops Eichner and he hits the top 1%. He calls that move for the cover. 1, 2, 3, and EC3 picks up the pinfall. I kind of wish Fabian Eichner would have took advantage and beat EC3 as a big shock here. I think that could have been something to talk about, Michael, but we get the obvious win here for EC3 and him building momentum in NXT as he should be doing. But a very, very random spot in the middle of it with Gargano coming out. I thought it was like, okay.
I kind of didn't like this spot, but it might have been because I already knew the street fight was going on. So if I didn't know that there was a street fight, I might have been like, oh, it's a street fight. Oh, but just the fact I kind of watched that clip I told you about on YouTube saying that there is going to be a street fight. And when I saw Johnny there, I was like, oh, man, what is this? Because I like EC3. I was just as confused as he was. I'll be okay with this because what I think is going to happen is EC3 is going to challenge Johnny Gargano to a match, and I'm hoping Tommaso Ciampa costs him the match because I want EC3 to stay undefeated for a while. But,
right.
And it kind of makes sense for Tommaso Ciampa to screw him over. So
right.
We'll see what happens.
No. So we had the Bianca Belair vignette, really really cool package, dude. The NXT promo package teams are like beyond unreal. I love these guys. The way they highlight people. They did that whole thing with TM61 about a month ago, which is really, really cool. Now they did it with Bianca Belair. Really, really, really cool promo package. Basically, saying that since she's been a child, she's been gifted at everything, has come easy to her. She talks about her family achievements, her big line of family achievements. Her dad was like the first African-American, was it mechanic or carpenter? I forget what it was, in North Carolina, which is pretty cool. And she has no other options other than being the best. Belair also says that she would do enough to get by in the gym and track, but her parents constantly reminded her that she's a star and is meant to stand out. Belair talks about getting a full ride to the College of Tennessee, graduating college, and getting into CrossFit, which led to her opportunity at NXT. She continues that she didn't have any indie experience. She had to learn everything from the beginning and gets the looks from women for what she can do. Now she's not lowering herself to stay hidden. She's going to stand out in NXT. So really, really cool background check behind Bianca Belair, not coming from any wrestling experience whatsoever. Had to work hard for what she got a little bit. You kind of get that cocky sense that she had everything kind of handed to her a little bit, but then she worked out in the gym and CrossFit to get into the shape she's in and to learn the wrestling moves, and so she's homegrown, which is pretty cool. So that's, Darby loves their homegrown shit, so she's going to get a big push NXT and an even bigger push once she gets up to the main roster. So I like this whole promo package they did with Bianca Belair. I'm liking the future, what we're going to get with her. But one thing we need, Michael, we need more hair whips. We need more hair whips, man.
What happened to that? But yeah. I agree with you. What was that?
I can tell you what they're going to do with her on the main roster.
Oh, they're going to put her in hair versus hair match, and they're going to clip her hair.
Or Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, guaranteed.
She's this hard worker in NXT, has an amazing backstory. That's awesome. Vince is going to get her. Rapunzel. Calling it right now. It's going to be Rapunzel.
It's not going to be like that. She's home. I mean, I can't say that he loves all homegrown people. I mean, Baron Corbin was homegrown. He basically ruined that guy. But I hope not. I was just gonna say that. I hope not. I love the whole package they did with her this week. Really, really cool. The NXT package team are like on point with everything as always. So we had Ricochet versus. Oh, go ahead.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, it was a good promo package. I really liked the part where they said basically she had no background experience, and she did really well in the Mae Young Classic. One definite standout. May not seem like first, but I think there's a lot of money in Bianca Belair versus Shayna Baszler. Perhaps it's going to go down at NXT TakeOver at SummerSlam. We'll have to wait and see. Mm-hmm. And I want to bring up something kind of funny because they showed old clips of Bianca Belair, and Bianca Belair is not her actual real name, so they were actually saying her real name from the video clips. Her actual last name is Blair. So they were actually going Bianca Blair and hoping no one notices. It's kind of like a Yanni and Laurel situation. You heard it, but
let's not get into that. Let's not get into that. I had too many arguments with that stupid video. We're gonna move on from that. Okay, don't you start, Brian. I know you're gonna start with that.
I was just saying, what's more shocking, that that's her real name, or that those were not Lashley's sisters?
I don't know. I can't tell right now. Anyways, so really cool video for Bianca Belair. Next, we had Ricochet versus Chris Dijak, who's been in and out of NXT a little bit around. He's seen more at live events. I remember seeing him at a live event. He's not bad either, man. He had a pretty good showing against Ricochet this week too, man. They had a pretty decent match. The crowd loved the whole sequence that they had at one point in the match, man. The crowd was all into this match, and I was too. Eventually, Ricochet would head up to the top rope. He hit that freaking lovely 630 senton that he does, man. I love that move. I absolutely love that move. I'm all about Ricochet, Michael, man. The guy, I loved him when he was in Lucha Underground, when he was Prince Pool, man. I've been following this guy for a long time. Ever since I first seen that Will Ospreay and Ricochet video, man, I wanted to get more into him, and I followed him since then. Definitely buying a Ricochet shirt, but hits that beautiful 630 senton. After, though, Ricochet gets on the mic. He says he understands the Velveteen Dream likes the spotlight. He gives Dream his props, but says the spotlight not only shows how good you are, it also shows your flaws. Ricochet calls Dream a punk for attacking him during the last week's handicap match. Before he can finish, though, out comes Velveteen Dream, and he says, "Punk, he questions. I'm surprised there wasn't any CM Punk chants there. He lets it go because tonight is Ricochet's spotlight, but then he says anything Ricochet can do, Dream can do better. Ricochet says the only thing he sees Ricochet says the only thing he sees Dream doing is standing up on the stage showing what a coward he is. So Ricochet calling out Velveteen Dream here. Ricochet says if he wants the spotlight to come take it. Dream makes his way to the ring and puts on the brakes and says there's only one spotlight big enough for the two of them. I'll see you in Chicago. Dream says when the spotlight hits Ricochet, beautiful face, he'll see anything Ricochet does. The Dream can do better. Ricochet then runs and this is the best part, he runs and does a flip over the rope. Like, he does it so clean. Does a clean flip over the ropes and lands right on the ramp in front of Dream and says, show me. Like, this promo was just insane, man. Like, especially the ending with Ricochet, and his athleticism is beyond anything. Like, it's just ridiculous. And yeah, fantasy bookers out there, and I had this in my mind. I'm like, could you imagine, Michael, if Ricochet, Leo Rush, and Montez Ford were in the same ring with each other? I don't think we could keep track. I don't think we'd be able to watch anything at once. But what did you think of this promo?
I thought it was really good. I'm sad to say I missed the front flip because I literally this is how quick and how good it was. I took my eyes off the TV for 1 second and the flip was already done. And I was like, oh,
it was
man,
that
what
fast.
Yeah, so I had to watch it during the replay, but it was really good. I like this whole thing with the Velveteen Dream. It seems like it's a gimmick now. He's like, whatever you can do, I can do better. Kashi Ono, they call him the knockout artist, and he vowed to knock him down 25 seconds. And now with Ricochet, he's like, whatever you can do, I can do better. So, yeah, this is pretty good. This could honestly, like, if this was the main event of NXT TakeOver Chicago, I'd be okay with it. I mean, if we're going to get Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns for no damn reason in the main event of Backlash, why not get it? It's probably not.
There's literally 3 main events for Chicago. You know, I don't think Gargano and Ciampa is going to be main event level enough to main event Chicago. It's going to be so tough to see what's going to actually main event. Are they going to? Because NXT loves to do the right main events. NXT TakeOver New Orleans, Gargano and Ciampa deserve to be the main event. That was the main event. Out of these 3 matches, I don't know right now at this point in time which one deserves to be the main event. But those are 3 huge main events there. You got Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa street fight, and the main title between Aleister Black and Lars Sullivan. So it's going to be really tough to tell what they're going to do with TakeOver Chicago. But again, I agree with you with the whole thing with Dream's dynamic and the way he presents his character and the way they're doing with him. I love it. And Ricochet just showing how incredibly athletic he is, and he can hang with the big guys, man. It's going to be a really good match when these guys go full out on each other. We got a little taste of it.
This is why I believe that the North American Championship should have went to either Velveteen Dream or Ricochet, because I feel like they're really doing nothing with the title and Adam Cole, and it really could have boosted this feud, knowing that the title was on the line.
Yeah. I think maybe the winner of that match is going to come out and be the number 1 contender against Adam Cole for TakeOver Brooklyn. Hopefully, unless they're doing something, unless they're going to continue this thing. I don't know what's going on with the North American title. I hope they don't just focus it around that group that they are now. I don't think they're going to have Pete Dunne win both titles at any point, so I don't think that's going to continue. So we'll see what happens with that. And that's one thing we didn't get him on TV this week. We had that I saw a little video clip. You guys have to go about and watch it. WWE just posted on YouTube today of the Undisputed Era making fun of the UK and talking about. I think you were talking about Download Festival coming up. It was really funny. But the main event NXT this week was actually the Women's Championship between Shayna Baszler and Dakota Kai. That was very interesting. I was wondering what was going on here, and I was actually really intrigued to see what was going to go down in this match. Was Dakota Kai going to show up, have a good fight against Baszler? What was going to go down? It was who I thought was going to show up. So basically, this match was what I thought was going to be in the beginning. Just joint manipulation again by Shayna Baszler, just doing like cringy stuff with her ankle, with the bending and the stomping. It was just joint manipulation. Crowd tries to cheer her on as she hits an enziguri and a couple of forearms on the champion. She bicycle kicks and puts Baszler down on the mat. She hits a running kick in the corner 2 times. Kai looks like she's going to hit her finisher, but Baszler basically twists her in midair and locks in the rear naked choke, and then Dakota Kai taps out via submission. Post-match where the big shit went down, Baszler locks in another choke until Nikki Cross runs on him. I was waiting for it to come out. I thought she was going to come out during the match. She didn't. Nikki Cross comes out and breaks it up. Cross is just like yelling at Baszler, and Baszler's face was just like, I've never seen Shayna Baszler like scared. Like Shayna Baszler was like, what the fuck is this? Like, who is this chick? And then Cross is just going nuts saying, let's go, let's freaking do this. Baszler stares at her for a moment. She takes her title and then heads out of the ring. As she heads up the ramp, Cross runs out, takes the title and puts it in the ring. Cross puts it on the mat and taunts Baszler to come in and get it. Baszler comes in to get it, but Cross steals it again and says, you, me, I think tonight after. Cross wants Kai to be the referee, who looks super confused and holds the title up. Baszler goes over to get it. Cross drops her. Kai counts the pin, and Cross celebrates with the title. Cross takes the title, runs around with it, and celebrates in the crowd. And Baszler yells that wasn't real, and Cross stares at her from the ramp as she's still holding the title. I'm going, what the fuck? What the hell did we just watch? I'm like, what are we witnessing here? I don't know what's going on. I was loving it, but I was like, what the fuck is happening here? I thought it was real for a second. But what an ending to NXT. I don't know what's that. It was just, I guess it's just highlighting, Michael, that Nikki Cross is just fucking insane. she's just ballistic.
Yeah, definitely. This is another feud I'm actually looking forward to at NXT TakeOver Chicago. And I've been saying, Shayna Baszler needs to take on someone who's just playing crazy, because a lot of the people he's been facing, it's like they're a little bit scared of her. So this is taking on someone who's not afraid of her. So this is gonna be a crazy match. I can imagine Shayna Baszler maybe dislocating her arm, but Nikki Cross is so crazy. She's like, I'll still go. You know, with Russ trying to go, like, no, we're calling off the match. She's like, nope, I don't care. My arm's dislocated. I'm still gonna go. And you know, this should be good.
So I'm guessing is what all signs are pointing toward. We're getting Nikki Cross versus Shayna Baszler at TakeOver Chicago, unless Dakota Kai is going to somehow be in it. Maybe she actually does end up being a special referee, like a legit one. And I don't know what else they do with this one, but I'm intrigued to see how this was going to go down. I don't think Shayna chokes out Nikki Cross. I can't see that ever happening.
If they could possibly do a swerve where, because you know how Nikki Cross kind of been kind of friendly with Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
William Regal comes out here and says, all right, well, I'm going to name a number 1 contender match. It's going to be Nikki Cross against Dakota Kai. Then she's like, oh boy. You know, we were on good terms, but now it's for the number 1 contendership, so there you go.
I see it. I like that. But yeah, another interesting feud going into NXT TakeOver Chicago. Just NXT. It had its ups and downs this week, more ups than downs than last week. Another good episode, man. I'm intrigued to see what's going to go on next week and next week's episode. Again, NXT, it's a breath of fresh air every single week, man. It's lovely.
Hold on. So, NXT is the night before Money in the Bank, if I'm not mistaken. Am I wrong?
It is.
Yes,
it is. That's the only thing I'm looking
guys,
forward to, though. I have stuff to do on Money in the Bank. I might have stuff to do. I don't know.
Okay, let's get this straight. You guys are all excited about Baszler, Cross, Puma, and Velveteen Dream, Black. Those are going to be great. But don't forget, Money in the Bank, your main event of the weekend. Jinder Mahal.
Oh my God!
Don't you forget it, sir.
Okay, fine.
I'll
mark it on my calendar.
Can that please be the main event, please, so I can just stop watching Money in the Bank?
Yes, can that be the main? Can that be the main event?
Stop watching.
All these matches we're talking about, and that could potentially close out the weekend.
Michael, you realize they're in Chicago too. That crowd's gonna eat if that match is on last, they're either gonna eat that match alive or they're gonna actually leave. It's gonna look like a 205 Live crowd at the end of during that match. Like it's gonna be all half empty seats.
But yeah,
the only way. It's the only way that Vince can blame the fans leaving by saying, "Oh, the show went long," so that's why people walked out on Roman versus Jinder. That's why.
Right.
Yeah, they get the train back, and people have
Oh, man.
Come on.
Anyways, before we end the show, guys, we got to get the sponsor out of the way. The sponsor of this show is ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. They specialize in pro wrestling and MMA apparel with over 50,000 t-shirts, sweatshirts, costumes, DVDs, and pendants in stock. And the best part of it all, it is free shipping. Yes, you heard me right. Free shipping to the U.S. and Canada. All you have to do is pay for the item itself, and this shipping is yours for free. And it's also, you can also have, you can pay for, what's it called? Expedited shipping, but the standard shipping is free. If you live in the rest of the world, you buy 3 items, and shipping is free. I guarantee you, though, once you check out this website, you're going to want to buy more than 3 items. Use promo code NOHOLDS at checkout, and you can save 10%. And one lucky fan per month that uses this code will receive a free gift from Extreme Wrestling Shirts. So, guys, go check them out. They are the official sponsor of the Lowdown Show and of No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. So, other than that, guys, that is going to wrap it up for the Lowdown Show right here on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, your Canadian wrestling podcast. Hold up! I don't have a record scratch. I should have had that, but yes, I forgot. Fan tweets. Yes, fan tweets. We have this week, and I'll pull them up here. Unless you have them up, Michael, I don't have to pull them up here. Twitter. I should have had them pulled up. That was my bad.
Did you want to do it? Because I think you're in charge of the tweets. I think you were tagged.
Again, I wasn't. No, I didn't get any of that.
Really? Okay.
Okay, I'll pull them up then.
I think you're notified. Okay. I can do fan tweets if you guys want.
Sure.
All right. So the fan tweets comes from someone who's actually in the live chat right now, Datila. She's tweeting into the show. Her first fan tweet goes, thoughts on SmackDown's Fox contract. Do you think that it will make the show better? Who wants to go first?
Do I think it'll make the show better? I have a scary feeling that we're going to be losing the brand split by then. We're going to go right back to what it used to be, and both rosters appearing on both shows, and they're going to label it something stupid as a super show. Where have I heard this before? But that's my opinion. I don't know if you guys have a different
one. Yeah, well, my opinion is, what's wrong with the show?
Not enough gender. Gender's not SmackDown.
I think it rhymes with Bender the Hall.
No, in all seriousness, my only thing is, I don't know if we found out what kind of deal they have. If it's just like another TV show where, they can cancel a year or 2 in. Because Fox has gotten rid of stuff like Gotham and those big shows that are doing really good. So I don't know if they're gonna be able to just pull the plug on WWE in a year or 2. I mean, that could be a factor on WWE finally stepping it up.
Oh, I mean, because I heard that they paid $3 billion for a 5-year deal. So I feel like I think no matter what, SmackDown Live, whether it's going for broke, it's completely bad, it's going to air for the next 5 years, guaranteed. Because they paid a lot of money, and it's not like they can say, okay, WWE, we want our money back. And that's $3 billion is a lot of money. That only covered Brock Lesnar for 2 appearances, but still. But in my personal opinion, I think Fox could possibly have some pull on the show. If you guys remember a long, long time ago, this might have been before you guys started watching fully, when SmackDown was on UPN, they had this horrible, it wasn't horrible, but it was very bad in taste. It was The Undertaker being attacked by Muhammad Hassan, and he was actually attacked by people dressed like terrorists, and UPN totally freaked out, and basically Muhammad Hassan never appeared on television again. Character was scrapped, and he was ultimately let go. So that's a little bit of UPN kind of stretching their hold over SmackDown Live. Right. So as long as no one's sisters show up on SmackDown, I think it'll be okay. And there's already a whole bunch of people jumping the gun saying, "Oh, $3 billion. It's basically going to be 3 hours now, right?" And then all this other stuff. But I think people just kind of jumping the gun here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another question from Datila. She says, we kind of already talked about this. She says, where is AOP as well as Sanity? So, guys, where's the NXT call-ups? Where is AOP and Sanity?
The next Ascension Basically, both of them. Then they're the next ascension. It's a team that got way too hyped in NXT that Vince didn't produce or didn't create. So they're taking the back seat for Vince's same tag teams to get the spotlight over and 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 over again. We're not going to see them in the main title picture anytime soon unless someone comes up with a great creative idea for them to be in the main title picture and have their Vince's boys beat them and not get put over. Plain and simple. It's exactly what's going to go down. Don't tell me I'm wrong. It's exactly what's going to go down. It happened to the Ascension. It happened to countless tag teams that got called up from NXT with great success. Enzo and Cass, they split them up for whatever reason. Bad idea. Look, Enzo is gone and Big Cass is useless. 2, you have the Revival, one of the best teams in NXT to come out of NXT. What's going on with them right now? Nothing. They're doing jack shit. They're getting job to Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, the just put together team of, I don't even want to call them the Eater of Worlds or whatever, or the Eater of the Leaders. I don't know what they're called. But just telling you, you do have success in NXT, you get called up. Vince doesn't like that. You're taking the back seat. It's exactly what's going to go down with Sanity and AOP, and I'm actually shocked that AOP is not doing anything with Roman Reigns right now. Maybe that's the plans. Maybe they're planning this big thing with Roman Reigns. I wouldn't be shocked because that'd be the thing to do with AOP. We'll see what happens. They had that whole tease with Paul Ellering when they first debuted that they were going to split from them, and did jack shit from there. So we'll see what happens. That's my opinion.
Where do you guys see it going next? Brian, let's start with you. What can they do with AOP and Sandy going forward?
I actually have some insider news, like the backpage news about what's going on with those guys. They actually got the same vertigo Sami Zayn got from Bobby Lashley. So they haven't been able to travel.
Oh God!
So that's what's going on. Just to let you guys know. But you guys keep saying the Ascension with the AOP. My booking would have been really simple. You could have had AOP. What was his name? I don't know.
What's his face? Statue?
The old guy, yeah. The manager. They could have dumped him, which they did, and had him run into the Ascension backstage, and he could have, been their new leader, and that would have been the feud for the next month.
I mean, it's a good idea, but they won't do that. They won't do anything that we think is a good idea. The main roster. That's why I have no faith in the main roster. Zero, nada, 0 dimes. I got no faith in the main roster, not at all.
Yeah,
sorry, Brian.
Way too easy. Hey, that's just my booking.
If it was up to me, honestly, they're not going to do it. But this guy is currently doing nothing, and it's not his fault. They should have AOP being managed by Paul Heyman. That's how you can get these guys back on the mat.
Exactly.
This guy's literally he's not doing anything because client's not showing up, and at least Paul Heyman can do something. With Sanity, they're a 3-person team. It only makes sense, so that means they are not going to do it for Sanity to go after the New Day first. So that's my personal opinion. And yeah,
why dump one manager just to go to another?
Yeah, and on a side note, fuck Brock Lesnar. That's all I gotta say about him. He doesn't deserve to be ran on him.
It's the only reason why SmackDown Live was bought by Fox. So Brock Lesnar's doing something right. Last but not least, guys, she says, I honestly don't know why we had a dance off between Naomi and Lana. I thought those days were over. So. Last minute thoughts on the dance off, guys. I mean, what's going on here?
None. You guys can talk about it.
I thought it was amazing.
I choose not to.
We should probably bring up, because they did say so on SmackDown Live. There was this weird segment with Paige. She actually put a match between Charlotte and Becky Lynch. They brought up the fact that they used to be in a team with PCB.
PCB. Yeah, not the not the submission sorority.
Submission sorority.
But yeah, so I want to bring up the interesting fact. It seems like Paige, and this could just be a coincidence, that Paige is kind of causing trouble with former stable she was in with Absolution. She kind of is making trouble with them, and now she's kind of putting Charlotte up against Becky Lynch. So I don't know, guys. Do you think this is what Paige is doing? She's kind of starting trouble for either the women's division, or she's kind of putting on old stable she's been in.
I don't know what's going on with that. I
mean, the whole situation with Paige is weird. It's
it's just something to keep her around.
They move her over to SmackDown, then they move over her team, and she's technically the heel because she's being mean at Absolution for no reason. And it's like, I don't, wait, that's not very face-ish. And it kind of like 180 both Absolution and Page. So now you have Absolution out there getting a bucket every week because of Page. It's like, well, what's going on?
I want to bring up interesting kind of like, and Kyle, you might not like this because I know Paige is your girl, but they're going to do it. I guarantee one day they're going to do it. They're going to have an awkward segment with Paige and Xavier Woods. If you guys have forgotten, they're now on the same show. I guarantee you, I know WWE, they're going to have an awkward segment with Paige and Xavier Woods. Just like, you know.
No comment.
No comment.
Anyways, so that it for the fan tweets?
That's it for the fan tweets.
Thank you, Doctila, for the fan tweets. And you guys want some fan tweets out there and want to read it right in the podcast? Tweet us in every week, and we'll read them on the show. Tweet us no matter what time of the week. Just use the hashtag AskNHBWP, and we will read them right at the end of the show right here on the air. So, now that's out of the way, we can finally end the show, and that is going to actually wrap it up for the Lowdown Show right here on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, your Canadian wrestling podcast that talks about the NXT and the WWE and No Holds Barred. Anything we say, pun intended. You can follow the podcast on Twitter, No Holds Barred WP. You can follow myself at Real Kyle Masters. You can follow one of my co-hosts, Hollywood Michael Chow, at Michael Chow TV. You can also follow the modern day main event Raja at HeelTurn21 Brian on Twitter as well. You can follow us on Instagram, No Holds Barred WP. You can follow the podcast and listen to us on the go on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Spreaker. Spreaker is a glorious podcast app that's available for all Android and Apple devices. It allows you to download, or allows you to listen to previous episodes of the podcast and chat with us live on the air. You can also watch any video versions of the podcast on YouTube, our YouTube channel, youtube.com/NHBWR. Hit that subscribe button and that bell icon for all upload updates. I am your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host as always, joined as always by my two co-hosts, Hollywood Michael Chow and the modern-day Maharaja, or main event Raja, Brian at HeelTurn21 on Twitter. And we're always reminding you to keep it on the lowdown.
You're looking at the real deal now. Gonna kick your sorry ass out on the street. Is that what you got? You used to think you own the street. We're back to back and your ass is dead meat. Victory is sweet. Bring it on. Here's your receipt. Bring it on. What you gonna do about it? Bring it on. Is that what you got? Bring it on. So what you gonna do about it? Bring it on. Gonna kick your sorry ass, but what you gonna do?